What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Thunderstruck Thursday here on the stream as we get ready. We're gonna have a good day. It should be a good day. Let's be honest. It's laid back. It's a Thursday. The weekend starts tomorrow on Friday night. It should be a good one coming here. Season's just around the corner. ESPN, Bleacher Report, a bunch of articles have been going crazy lately, pumping out some content. You can go check it out on Sports Illustrated. USA Today, even with Clemente over there, the Oklahoman. If you guys are a local, looking for a local news source over there, check out the Oklahoma with Joel Lorenzi. A bunch of good articles all out there talking about the Thunder. That's kind of what we're doing here today. All right. This is mainly going to be talking about where I see certain Thunder players going award-wise, like MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. I wouldn't necessarily say Rookie of the Year, as I don't want to say our guys don't have a chance at all because unforeseen circumstances do come up. However, they shouldn't realistically be getting that much time, so I don't think they'll be in that Rookie of the Year race. However, if they can contribute on a winning team, I could see them winning. Being on like an all-rookie second team. I could see that happening. One of our guys like Dylan Jones being there. So we're just going to be talking about award-wise, like, the individual awards, and then, of course, the team awards, like All-NBA, All-Defensive, All-Rookie, those type of things we'll be talking about today. And also going into Executive of the Year, Coach of the Year, that good stuff. As you guys come in here, I'm sure you guys see the message that's pinned up there. Let me know what you guys been doing today. I'm interested. Let me know what you guys been doing on this laid-back Thursday. It's been a long week, I feel like. I feel like it should already be like Saturday starting the next week, but it's only Thursday right now. So let me know what you guys been up to so far this week. And, today, let me know what you guys been doing before this stream. With that out of the way, we can go ahead and get into the first player I want to talk about, which is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who I know he's our guy. He is the franchise player. We all know that. We all know, okay, this team's going to be built around Shai for the next few years. I think he's a lock for All-NBA first team. I feel like that goes without question. When you look at what he did last season, he should be continuing it this season. He keeps getting better and better and better efficiency-wise. The only thing that I think he needs to improve on just a little bit more is, two things. Is A, not getting beat off the dribble as much. I feel like sometimes out on the perimeter, he gets beat off the dribble a little bit too easily for a player of his athleticism and his speed. So something I definitely think he needs to improve on a little bit more. And then B, I feel like he needs to take more three-pointers. Take more three-pointers, improve your three-point shot a little bit, and I think we'll end up being fine with him. He should be an All-NBA first-team lock if he continues what he's been doing, had the same season he kind of had last year. I don't think there's any question or concern with him in those regards. Speaking of All-NBA, I do think we have two other players that have a chance of being All-NBA players in J-Dub and Chet. The more likely of the pair I see being Chet Holmgren, as I think he's solidifying himself as a top 5 center already in the league. When you look at rim protection and what he does offensively, he's quickly becoming one of those top centers in the NBA. No doubt about that whatsoever. So that's why I kind of give him the edge for an All-NBA team, not All-NBA third team. I don't see him second or first. But that's why I give him the little edge over J-Dub there. J-Dub could probably have a great season. I think he could average around 23 points a game next year. I truly think that. I think this season he could average around 24 points a game. The thing is, I think all the other stats go into play when you're looking at awards. Points per game, of course, is like the main story. However, when figuring out on the third team and even MVP as well on those levels, on those awards, I think they're going to look at your rebound numbers, your assist numbers, your field goal percentage, your turnover rate, your steals, your blocks. They're going to look at everything. So that's why I think Chet will have the edge over him because he'll average a double-double, I feel like, with rebounds and points a game. I think Chet is going to have like a 22-10 season. All right. And of course, I think he can average 2 blocks a game and maybe even a steal a game. So Chet should have a really good year that should get him All-NBA third-team nods. The thing with J-Dub, I think he'll average 23 to 25 points a game, but only like 5 boards and 5 assists on 50% shooting and may get a steal a game. So it's one of those things where I think statistics-wise, Chet is just going to have on paper the better year. And I think that's why he'd get the All-NBA third team nod over Jalen Williams, But I would not be surprised if somehow both of them get all NBA nods, because they have been talked about quite a bit and quite extensively so far in media and on ESPN, Bleacher Report, Sports Illustrated, all those places. They've been talking about those guys quite a bit and just mentioning how they should see, like a world of improvement from them, where they are recognized as like, okay, maybe they are top 15 player, top 20 players in the league right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up on an All-NBA third team along with Chet. Now, speaking on that, J-Dub, this is where we start to go into individual awards a little bit before we go back to team awards. When I mentioned another guy, Lu Dort, I think J-Dub should win Most Improved Player. I think he should. When you look at what the award means, it means whoever goes in clear cut above the rest, he found his role on this team. He is a clear second option, blah, blah, blah. And that's what he's going to need to do this season. He's going to need to make it known, hey, Chet isn't the second option here. If he wants to win that Most Improved Player award, he needs to make it known, I'm the second option. I am, who we're going to go to for scoring. If Shai can't get it done this night, you can rely on me here. That's what he needs to do. Have a 25-point-per-game season and improve his rebound, just all around, just slight improvement everywhere else. If he does that, no question about it. No question about it, he should win Most Improved Player. The thing I'm concerned about is there's a guy named Victor Wembanyama in the league, and he is apparently in the runnings for Most Improved Player. And I think if he wins Most Improved Player, that completely diminishes what the award is about. Because we are all kind of expecting Victor Wembanyama to take this big leap. Most Improved Player is about the guy where you didn't really expect it or see this kind of leap coming. For J-Dub, you're expecting a leap where he went from averaging 19 a game to maybe a point or two more and keeping the rest of the stats there. Victor Wembanyama, they're all expecting him to already be an All-NBA consideration next season. So I can't see him in the Most Improved Player conversation if that's the case. I just, in good faith, I can't see that happening. So, unfortunately, that's his competition apparently. But I just don't see how Victor Wembanyama can win it. Defensive Player of the Year, I completely get. All right, because he's already been talked about that in those regards. But Most Improved Player, I just can't see it. That award is for someone taking that leap that no one really expected, or they didn't have a lot of hopes on it. And J-Dub, not everyone has a ton of hopes outside of Thunder fans of him taking this leap where he's a true second option, scoring 25 points a game, averaging 6 and 6 as well, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal or block a game. Thunder fans are the only one that are having that in consideration, where he also has 50, 40, 90 splits now. 90 splits free throw wise. I'm sure he shoot 80, where he has a 50, 40, 80 split. But we're the only ones that actually have faith in that happening for Jalen Williams. Everyone else, he's getting swept under the rug, under the radar. It especially shows, now I don't want to get into 2K ratings all that much, but his 2K rating, it especially shows an 86. I felt like after the season he deserved an 88 or an 89 as well, along with Chet. But we'll take what we can get, as we know the Oklahoma City Thunder, the national media does not like to give him a ton of attention. So we'll take what we get there. So that's where I just see it. I feel like Dub should win the Most Improved Player, but unfortunately for some reason his competition is Victor Wembanyama, and his other competition is Josh Giddey. I think Josh Giddey does have a good chance to win it in Chicago, and we're going to speak on him a little bit since he was a Thunder player for 3 years. He was supposed to be this key piece and ended up not working out because the team just was developing faster than what we all anticipated with our guys like Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. So I think he has a good chance to have a resurgence in Chicago and show why he was drafted by us in the first place. I think he could have a season where he averages 28 and 8, and if he does that, I think Giddey then deserves Most Improved Player. But if he doesn't have that kind of stat line, I think it should be Dubs if he does what we're all expecting him to do as Thunder fans. Now getting into some more awards. I want to go on the defensive side. We have 3 guys that I truly believe could make all defensive teams. Really 4. Let me rephrase that. I see 4. And it's all depending on the scenario. All right? it just completely all depends on the scenario. If Alex Caruso starts majority of the year, I could see him getting another all defensive team nod. But if not, we have three that I think could find their ways into that, and that's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and of course the torture chamber, Lu Dort. I feel like those are the three for sure cut and clear options that we have that can make an all-defensive team. Caruso can be added into that mix if he starts majority of the time. The question is that we're still wondering ourselves, is Caruso a starter or is he going to come off the bench? That is a question that we still need to figure out that hasn't been answered yet. We probably won't get an answer for a while. But with those three guys, I feel like the most likely, it should be Lu Dort. Being honest, it should be Dort is most likely. However, it's not how the league works. I think the most likely out of that group would be Chet Holmgren because of his rim protection abilities and how the floor is going to be able to space out some more to help him rebounding-wise and help side block-wise. I think he could average 3 blocks a game with Isaiah Hartenstein now holding down the paint where he can come out and help, come trail a guy, boom, pin it off the backboard. Average 10 rebounds a game. 10 rebounds and 3 blocks should get you all defensive nods. Definitely should. I think he has the best odds. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has a chance as well, especially if he averages 2 steals a game again this season. I think he has a chance. I think so. And then finally, Lu Dort, who should be the clear-cut option of, yes, he should win, he should be on an all-defensive team. But it doesn't show up in the stat books. It doesn't show up in the steals or blocks per game because the hustle stats don't show. You don't, the stats sheet doesn't show him diving for loose balls, him forcing turnovers that don't get accounted to him. All those don't show up in the stat book for Lu Dort, so I feel like he always gets overlooked on defense, and no one ever realizes how good of a defensive player Lu Dort is because of all those hustle stats. So it's definitely something interesting that we'll have to look at. I think he should get an all-defensive nod. I think it's very likely he can. With how much recognition the Thunder should get this season and how good we should be, I can see that there's a chance he gets some recognition there and makes a team, especially after Luka Doncic said in the playoffs that he's a top 3 player ever that guarded him, saying like he's one of the toughest guys that has ever guarded him in his professional basketball history. So I think he has a chance there. All defensive first team, I don't think so, but second team for sure. I think all 3 of those guys have a chance to make it on the second team. Now for 6th man of the year is where it gets tricky. I think we could have a for sure cut, clean person there for 6th man of the year. Once again, depends on what the starting 5 looks like. If Isaiah Hartenstein is coming off the bench, you could expect like 24, 25 minutes a game from him off the bench. You can say the same thing for Alex Caruso. Whoever is coming off the bench, I think will finish as a finalist for 6th man of the year. I think if Alex Caruso is coming off the bench, he is the clear-cut option for 6th man of the year. I think he has it on lock if that's the case. If not, Isaiah Hartenstein, I think he'd be a finalist. I think it becomes a little more difficult just because as a big man, off the bench, I feel like you don't get as much recognition. And he's not an offensive player like that either. He's not as big of a scorer as Caruso can be. We've seen Caruso's shooting numbers. We've seen his three-point percentage, his field goal percentage. He averaged 10 points a game last year on 27 minutes of play. He wasn't even the third option there, and he was averaging that number. I think off the bench, he could also average more points than 10. I think he could average 12 or 13, along with a steal or 2 a game, and then like 3 assists and 3 boards. And maybe even a block as well. So it's one of those things where I look at it and I think it truly depends who wins 6th man of the year for whoever is that 6th man for OKC. If it's Caruso, I think Caruso wins 6th man of the year. If it's Hartenstein, I think someone else in the league could win it just because I feel like as a big man, it's harder to get recognition off the bench. That's just my personal opinion. Now, defensive player of the year, I would like to say Lu Dort has a chance. Realistically, like I've mentioned before, I feel like the awards now in the NBA are more stat sheet, empowered. And Dort's just not going to have the stat sheet to get defensive player of the year. He should be. He's realistically a top 5, top 3 defender in the league when you look at the impact he has on the floor. But it never shows up in the stat sheet, so I don't think he'll ever win a defensive player of the year in his career, which is just unfortunate because I truly think he deserves it. I feel like a bunch of other NBA fans also agree with me on that. I think Chet Holmgren has a chance, like I mentioned, with his rim protection. But as I mentioned earlier, there's another player in the NBA that exists that makes it hard to win awards now, named Victor Wembanyama, because he's changed everything that we've thought about basketball, how you play it at that size, and he's truly made it a positionless game. So I think Chet Holmgren has a chance. It's a very slim chance. I think that is Victor Wembanyama's award to lose. Defensive Player of the Year. I think next season going into it, when you look at it, that little leap that you take from your first to second year, size-wise and getting used to the pace of play, we saw it at the end of the season for Wembanyama. He's going to be a nightmare. Now, will that Spurs team ever be a nightmare? I don't think so. Just because, yes, you have Victor Wembanyama, who has the potential to be the best player in the league. And when you look at skill set-wise, it's not crazy to say he has the potential to be the best player of all time. It's just, I don't know if the Spurs will ever get the continuation and consistent players that they can have to build a winning team around him. Yes, that Chris Paul combination is going to be nice, but you're telling me Jeremy Sohan is a viable second option in the NBA? I'm not buying that. I'm not buying Jeremy Sohan as a, actual second option. Third and fourth option I see, but second option, nah. No, I'm not about that. They have the draft picks to do it, though. It's just, I don't ever see them truly being competition for us, just because I think it's hard to build around Wembanyama because you can rely on him so much. And like I said, Jeremy Sohan is not a second option scorer in the NBA. Now, MVP is where it gets difficult. I'm going to have a video that's coming out. I'm going to have videos about all these awards and my little predictions for the Thunder on that as well, coming out for the next few days. MVP one should be coming out either after the stream or tomorrow. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I feel like he has a legit chance to win the award. I truly do. Everyone keeps saying it's going to be a tight race again between Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I feel like everyone keeps on saying, oh, they have all those three guys. Yeah, like those three guys are for sure in the race. Yes, that's the race. That's going to be the finalist race. Is Jokic going to be a problem next season? I don't think so. I have a hunch he's not going to have a season that should win him MVP. Last season, he definitely didn't. I feel like last season... Okay, someone's vacuuming outside my room now, so you're probably going to pick that up for a little bit. I don't know why we're vacuuming at this hour right now, so sorry if you hear that. I just don't see Nikola Jokic having an MVP type of season. He didn't last year. I don't know how he won it. I say that. I know how he won it. It was a pity award. The NBA said, sorry, we didn't give you the award in 2023 to get you the three-peat because of Joel Embiid. We're going to give you this one this year to kind of make up for it. So it's like, I just don't see it how Jokic can win the MVP award. I don't. I think it's going to come down between Shai and Luka, and it's going to be a tight race the entire year. The reason I give Shai the edge is the requirement of games played. As we know, Luka Doncic, he doesn't necessarily... I say he doesn't play a lot of games. He does. He plays a good amount of games. He plays like 68, 70 a year. The limit is you have to play 65. And if he didn't heal up like he's supposed to this offseason, I could see it where, like, oh man, he only played 60 games for him, and so that gets him out of MVP contention. Even 64 gets you out, and the limit's 65. You have to at least play 65. So even 64 gets him out, and it is a realistic option where he doesn't reach that game required, right there. That's what happened with Embiid last season. Now, would he have won the award if he got that 65 limit? I don't know. I think it still would have gone to Jokic, but it's just one of those things where that is what we have to deal with right now. I think Shai just has the edge because of that game limit. That is why. They are very close in play level. The reason Luka could have that advantage is because of the numbers. Yes, he could average 32 points a game with 9 rebounds, 9 assists. All right? What about the steals and blocks? What about the field goal percentage? What about the turnover rate? No one really looks at those numbers. All right? They look at 3 main stats: points, assists, and rebounds. That's what they look at for the MVP award. They don't look at field goal percentage. They don't look at free throw percentage. They don't look at three-point percentage. They don't look at steals. They don't look at blocks. They don't look at turnovers. They don't look at any of that for the awards anymore. It's all about, okay, how many points did you score this game? How many assists and how many rebounds did you have? That's what they care about for MVP now, which is not how it should be measured. Calling out the NBA on that right now. They're not going to see this. I know they're not. But they need to actually start looking at it like, okay, as an all-around player, who is the best? Because I feel like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was the best all-around player last season. By all-around players, I think the best ones were him and Giannis. Just being honest. And so the NBA just has to start realizing that and looking at it that way, where we have to take in all stats into consideration. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is one of 3 players to average 30 points a game, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals a game. The other 2 players, 1992 Michael Jordan, which is arguably his best season ever, and then Stephen Curry when he was named unanimous MVP. Only 3 guys have ever had that kind of stat line in NBA history. So you're telling me, yes, he had the same stats as a unanimous MVP and who people considered the greatest season of all time from the greatest basketball player of all time? Yes, same kind, stat line, but yet, he's not going to win MVP? Make it make sense to me, man. Make it make sense. So it's just tricky. But those are like my little award predictions right now. I feel like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander should win MVP or at least finish second. All right. And then All NBA first team for sure. And I feel like Chet and Dub have legit chances at All NBA third team. I feel like Chet has Dub beat out on that edge there, but they both could win it. All defensive team, I feel like all 3 of our guys in Lu Dort, Chet, and Shai could get all defensive second team. Alex Caruso, if he starts, I feel like he could be nominated on there too. I don't know how they handle it with guys coming off the bench, but if he has that good of a season defensively off the bench, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets thrown into an All-NBA defensive team as well there. So we have 4 guys that I feel like could definitely make it on that list. And then finally, Rookie of the Year, which I haven't really talked about. Most Improved Player, it should be Dub, but it will be a close race for Most Improved Player. Defensive Player of the Year, Chet Holmgren has a chance. Realistically, Wembanyama is going to win that award. Let's be honest there. Finally, Rookie of the Year and all rookie teams. So I'm just going to be honest. We don't have a Rookie of the Year this year. We don't have someone that's going to be in that running or even all rookie first team. Just because we're that good where they're not going to get that kind of time or playing. So realistically, I could see an all rookie second team if they are constantly contributing off the bench. I think Dylan Jones has the best chance since AJ Mitchell is on a 2-way contract. I feel like half the season he'll spend with the Blue in the G League, and half the season he'll spend with us up there at the pro level. Kind of what Jang has been doing now for the past 3 seasons or so, 2 or 3 seasons. So it's one of those things where I think Dylan Jones has the best chance of making an all-rookie second team. The thing is, he's going to have to average like 5 points, 6 points a game off the bench and like 2 rebounds and 2 assists. It's going to be tough because I feel like he's only going to get around maybe 8 minutes per game. So it's going to be really tough for him to be in that consideration. Now, Nikola Topic, on the other hand, when he goes in his rookie season for 2025 to 2026, I think he has a chance at winning Rookie of the Year. Now, Cooper Flagg does exist, and if he plays like how we're all hyping him up to be, he'll win the Rookie of the Year award. But Topic has a chance to be all-rookie first team for the 2025-2026 season. But back to Dylan Jones for this upcoming season. He has a chance to make the all-rookie second team. First team, I think that's off the table. Second team, very realistic, I feel like. Very realistic, so I wouldn't be surprised if that happens at all. So those are my little award predictions going on right now. Dylan Jones could get all-rookie second team. He could. All defensive second team, we have 4 guys that I think could make that. Dort, Shai, Chet, and Caruso. I feel like those guys have a chance to make it. There is a third team. I think for sure all 4 of those guys would get all defensive team nods. All NBA teams, Shai, of course. Chet, I think he can make it. And then Dub, he has a chance as well. Chet has a slight advantage over Dub, but they both have chances. And then finally, MVP, I think Shai should win it. Never know, though. And then Most Improved Player, Dub should be one of the top players to get that award. It will be difficult on the other hand, however. Now, so this is where I go into like answering questions for you guys and everything. So you guys that are in here right now, drop whatever questions that you have about the Thunder, and I can go ahead and answer them. And just reading the chat right now, it hasn't really been active. I know it's a Thursday. It's a weird time as well. Some of you guys are probably getting out of school, getting off of work now. I understand that. It does get difficult. It's the best time for me at the moment right now. I'm going to start going later on Thursdays when we can, so don't worry about that. But what I'm seeing here, Lakers fan, but Thunder in heart, Thunder blue. I love that. Look, this is a family here, and I just love basketball, so I love hearing it from every fan's standpoint. I love hearing it from Mavs fans. Unfortunately, I love hearing it from Rockets fans, even though you guys think we got some sort of beef going on, when I have nothing wrong with Houston fans because, frankly, we own your sorry franchise. I love hearing it from Spurs fans, Timberwolves fans, Celtics fans, Knicks fans, 76ers fans, Lakers fans. Like, the NBA... we should be able to talk and have conversations about this, and I just love hearing it from everyone's fan base, point of view. So if you guys have questions right now, this is where I go in and answer them. I might go on like a random tangent here, tidbit, talking about it. So it's just, I don't know like what's going on. But I will talk about the season for a little bit, because I did say that in the description. I just remember it's season. We're going to talk about the ceiling, the floor, and what I think the realistic thing is for us, where we can, be where I think the goal is for the team. Of course, I think the goal for every team is to win the finals, but I feel like the realistic goal that they should have set out, along with us as fans, should be make the Western Conference Finals. Not even the regular finals, make the Western Conference Finals. I feel like that should be the goal this season. I think that's a success. We've moved up in what we did last season, so boom. All right? Western Conference Finals should be the goal, and I think that's very obtainable. I think it is. Not semifinals. We made it last year. We need to take a step in the right direction. Western Conference Finals should be the goal. Talking about the ceiling now. I think the ceiling is winning the finals, of course. We have that kind of team. We have that caliber of talent now where we can realistically win the finals. We have the experience in the playoffs. We have a veteran who's won a ring in Alex Caruso. That helps out a ton. We filled every hole we had. We don't have any holes on this team now where we should be able to go out there and realistically have a chance to win every single game. It's not going to happen because that's very hard to do in the NBA. It's even hard to win 70 games now, especially in this Western Conference we're in. It's a tough Western Conference, so it'd be even hard to win 70 games. But the ceiling is winning the NBA Finals, and I think we can win 70 games. Everything has to be perfect, though. Everything has to go perfectly if we want to win 70 games. It's very realistic. We don't have to, but we have to not deal with injuries. We'd have to make sure everyone's playing how they're supposed to be playing. Everyone's playing up to how they're supposed to every single night. That is a possibility, though. So I think the ceiling is winning 70 games, winning the NBA Finals. And facing, I want to say the Celtics, since I do live in Boston right now. I do want to say the Celtics. But with Kristaps Porzingis being out half the year and this team getting older, with Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, those guys getting up there in age a little bit. Kristaps Porzingis isn't on that level, but I do think he's like 31 right now, 31 or 32. So that age, at that height, it does get a little bit tricky. Drew Holiday's getting up there where he might have to consider retiring soon. So that Celtics team, you can see them take a slight step back because they didn't make any changes on that team. And you don't know what the chemistry is going to be like with Jaylen Brown after being snubbed off of the Olympic team. So I want to say the Celtics. Realistically, though, you guys might hate me for this. I think the New York Knicks can make it to the finals. 76ers, I'm counting out. I'm counting the 76ers out. I don't think they have a chance at all. Because look at that team. How often are those guys injured? You look at Embiid. You look at Paul George. All right? Even their role players are injured for like half the year. You can't win if you're not healthy. You're telling me Tyrese Maxey is going to take you to the promised land? He's a good player. He is a great second option. Is he a first option? Is he the guy that's going to take you all the way and win the championship? No. Not even close. All right? You need Embiid to be healthy. You need Paul George to be healthy. And then finally, you actually need your guys to show up in the playoffs. You can't have these 18, 19 points games from Embiid in the playoffs. You can't have these games from Paul George where he doesn't even get double-digit points in the playoffs. They need to show up in the playoffs, and they need to be healthy if they actually want a chance to win. And one of those two things is not going to happen. Just being honest, one of those two things is not going to happen at all for the 76ers. The Knicks, however, they have the chemistry. They're getting the experience now. They're at the right age to go and win a championship. Jalen Brunson is solidifying himself as a top 5 point guard in the league. The Knicks have it set. They have everything ready to make it to the finals and even have a chance of winning it if the Thunder weren't in it. If they don't face the Thunder in the finals, I think the Knicks have a chance of winning it. But I think we all know the Thunder have a really good chance of making the finals. And if they do, I think it's clear-cut, okay, the Thunder win. The Celtics is just there's just a lot of factors going into Boston. There are a good amount of factors going into the Celtics this coming season. And like I said, I want them to do well. Just living here as well. Living in Boston, I want them to do well. I want to see a parade. It's just, I just think they're going to take a little step back and they won't make it to the finals. Just being honest there. I don't see them making the finals. I see them making the conference finals, just not the NBA finals. But that's my thing is, I see the Thunder ceiling a 70 win season, making it to the finals and beating the Knicks in 5 games. Just realistically, I think that's the ceiling and what the finals matchup could be. The floor, I feel like if I'm saying the floor is, let's say one of our top 3 options get injured, and so we have to rely on, let's say, Shai and Dub, or Dub and Chet, or Chet and Shai, or Chet and Dub. If we have to rely on, 2 of our 3 guys, out of our 3 guys, because one of them gets injured, I feel like the floor is a season where we win 50 games, which is still a good year in the Western Conference, but we don't make it to the first seed and we lose in the semifinals because we still got a good team without one of those 3 guys. We still have a championship team, or not championship team, a really good team. A team that could even make it to the Western Conference Finals, but it definitely makes the path harder when you lose one of those 3 guys. The finals, I think, is out of reach, but I think that's the floor, is if one of those guys get injured, we make the Western Conference semifinals, and that's where we burn out there. It's just difficult to tell, all right? Realistically, I see us having a 63-win season. 63-win season, finishing as the 1 seed, making it to the Western Conference Finals for sure, maybe even the finals. I feel like that is the realistic season at hand. I feel like that's what the Thunder should aim for. I feel like that's what our guys should aim for there. So that's all I got right now. Like I said, you guys are in here right now. If you guys have any questions that you want me to answer about the Thunder or even other teams, let me know about other teams as well. I'll answer them. I'm on here at least for another 15, 20 minutes regarding that. So just drop them down in the chat. All right, let me know what you guys think. And I'll just answer them because I know, Santos, you've been in here quite a bit. You mentioned how, they have Paul down in San Antonio. I did mention that. I didn't mention it for a while. I do think Chris Paul could average double-digit assists with Victor Wembanyama. That's going to be Lob City all over again. And that's going to be, I'm going to love watching that when they're not playing the Thunder. I really am. I think that is a good duo to help develop Wembanyama as well. I think that is the best person that you could have paired him alongside with to help develop him into a true scorer. Because Chris Paul is going to get him the ball in the right spot. So that's going to be scary to see. Some other guys that are scary that I think we have to look out for this year. Anthony Edwards, of course. All right. The Ant-Man. We've seen what he's developing into. There's just a bunch of guys that are developing into these top-tier players. Surprisingly enough, I don't want to say they're a team we should be scared of, but a team you shouldn't sleep on are the Kings. Sacramento made a decent move getting DeMar DeRozan, and you can't sleep on De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. You can't sleep on those 2 guys. They got a nice little squad going on down there. A team that can make it to a semifinals, all right? And maybe even ruin a team's hopes and dreams of making it to the finals, like a Mavericks team or a Nuggets team or Timberwolves team or even a Thunder team, because They're that sleeper team where you forget about them. They're going to come back and be like, and they're going to get you on your heels a little bit and be like, we really got to lock it in or else we're going home early. The Kings have that potential. Not to make it to the Western Conference Finals, but to make it to the semifinals for sure, where they go on a little Cinderella run. They made the moves to go like that this year. All the other California teams, I don't see being good. The Lakers, I don't see being good. The Warriors, I don't see being good. The Clippers, I don't see being good either with just James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, who plays 40 games a year. I don't see it. I think they're a lottery team, and that pick comes to us, and boom, we got a lottery pick and a star-studded NBA draft coming up in 2025. That'd be excellent. Other Western Conference teams, the Phoenix Suns, they'll be a play-in team, I fear, because that's just how good the Western Conference has gotten. The Nuggets, like I mentioned, they should be a playoff team. I think they finished as the 4 seed. The Jazz, playoff team, we know this. Or not playoff, lottery team. We know this with the Jazz. The Trailblazers, lottery team. Those are the only 2 for sure lottery teams I feel like in the Western Conference. Everyone else has a chance of making the play-in. Rockets, I wouldn't worry. All right, little brother down there in Houston. Wouldn't worry about them at all. San Antonio, same thing. What's up, little brother? I wouldn't worry about them at all. Mavericks, definitely worry about them. Definitely worry about the Dallas Mavericks. Going over to the Eastern Conference. The 2 teams that everyone's got, I don't want to say sleeping on. One of them they're not really sleeping on. They've gotten hyped. The other one, everyone's been sleeping on. The Knicks, like I said, they have a chance to make the finals. I truly think that. I think they have that potential, the chemistry, the star power that they have there. Malik Monk, or Mikal Bridges, like that whole team. Good little team that they got going on right now down there in the Big Apple at Madison Square Garden. The team in the Eastern Conference that no one's really talking about that made a big move that should help out that team, and they're young and they're developing some guys down there. The Orlando Magic. Don't be surprised if they spoil some championship-bound teams, run to the playoffs, and make it to a conference finals. Don't be surprised if that happens. The 2 teams that were considered, they're doing their rebuilds all wrong. All right? 2 teams that, like you said, like everyone's saying, they're the black eye. The Oklahoma City Thunder, Orlando Magic, everyone's like, they're doing their rebuild wrong. They won't be good for another 10 years. Look at us now. The Thunder are potentially finals bound. The Orlando Magic are one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference now. One of the younger teams as well. They got a good little core going on with Franz Wagner, Mo Wagner, Jalen Suggs, Paolo Banchero. Now KCP, you add that to that team. They have a squad that everyone's forgetting about. They're young as well. They're a young team. They're going to be good for the next 5 years. Don't be surprised if they make the finals a time or 2 because of how young and how good that team can be. Everyone's not talking about it enough. I'm glad I don't got to play against them 4 times a year because they could spoil me out of a playoff spot, a really good seeding. They could spoil a team going from the 6th seed to the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference. That's what that Orlando Magic team has in it, where they just spoil everyone's chances and they make it to a Eastern Conference Finals. Don't sleep on them. If any fans of Eastern Conference teams find this and listen to this, don't sleep on the Orlando Magic. Don't sleep on them. They are dangerous. I dare say that they could have the potential to be better than the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm just not riding the 76ers hype train. I just can't get behind it. I can't. I don't see them being good because they're either going to be injured or they're just not going to show up at all. I just don't see it. You paid that much for an aging Paul George who isn't the player he once was? Focus on Embiid and Maxey. Focus on them. Come on, man. I just don't see that team being good. I see them finishing as a 5 seed because they're going to be injured. That's what's going to happen. They're going to be injured. Paul George is going to be too focused on his podcast. Joel Embiid's going to cry all the time and worry about how he gets more fouls drawn. And he needs to worry about staying healthy as well. Tyrese Maxey is the only thing keeping that team together right now. He is the glue to that team. If Tyrese Maxey goes down, that team collapses and they don't make the playoffs. So, I hate to say that. Without Maxey, He's holding that team together right now. He is. He's the glue of the 76ers. Not Embiid, not George now. Tyrese Maxey is the glue piece of the 76ers that's keeping everything intact. You lose him, the 76ers go down. I'm just not high on them because of that. Injury prone, and they rarely ever show up in the games you need them to show up. That's why I think the Magic could be better than the 76ers. The Cavs, I don't want to say they're a sleeper team. They're good. They're going to be decent with Donovan Mitchell leading them. I don't think they're going to be like a standout in the Eastern Conference. Along like just some of the other teams there. And Pacers as well. They can be good. Like a semifinals team, but that's it. That's the extent. That's their ceiling. Make it to the semifinals. The Nets are going to be garbage. The Heat, I think, could be a lottery team. I think somehow they could fall there. Who else? Oh, I forgot two Western Conference teams. The Grizzlies, with Ja Morant back, I would expect them to be better. But OKC level? Nah, I don't see them on the same level as OKC. I don't. Who else did I forget? The Pelicans. Pelicans I don't see being a challenge. Oh, they got DeJounte Murray, though. They're still one of the worst teams in the Western Conference. They are. Western Conference tough, I get that, but they'll maybe make the play-in. I don't know. Zion's always hurt. All right, Brandon Ingram, he can't lead a team for you. All right, they just can't do it. They won't be able to get it done. Pelicans won't ever put it together there. They might never win a championship, being honest. Now back to the Eastern Conference teams. The Hornets, going to be god-awful. We're going to have LaMelo Ball back, yes. Still going to be god-awful. What else am I forgetting here? I feel like I'm forgetting so many Eastern Conference teams. The Raptors, they could play spoil a little bit and make a play-in. They could. They could play spoil. It's really it I'm thinking of right now. I'm trying to think of all the Eastern Conference teams. Nothing's really hitting me. Nothing's hitting me with Eastern Conference teams for some reason. Got the Charlotte Hornets. Got the Knicks, Celtics, 76ers, Magic, Heat, Raptors, Pacers, Cavs. What else am I forgetting? Forgetting some more teams. I know I am. So that's only 9. Who am I forgetting in the Eastern Conference? I need to look this up. That's embarrassing. I need to look up who's in the Eastern Conference. I'm forgetting so many. I seriously, like, how did I forget this? The Bucks. How did I forget the Milwaukee Bucks? They'll be all right. Dame and Giannis is a good duo. They're just all right, though. The Hawks I forgot about. Okay. The Hawks aren't going to be good, just being honest. They're about to rebuild again. The Pistons. Do I have to say anything about the Pistons? Come on now. The Bulls. Do I have to say anything about the Bulls? Come on now. You have Kobe White, who is going to be really good for them. I don't think he's ever going to be a number 1 option for any team. He's a good second option. That's about it. That's the extent there. The Wizards. Forgot about the Wizards. They're going to be horrible. But like the Eastern Conference is weak now. You have a clear-cut top 4 team, I feel like. And Orlando, Philadelphia, the Knicks, and the Celtics. Those are like your clear-cut top 4 teams over there. Everyone else, I feel like, are just middle of the pack or just horrible, where they wouldn't last a day in the Western Conference. That's what I feel like. That's all I got right now. Like I mentioned, guys, I have another 10 minutes on here. I can try to BS my way through this, or you guys that are here right now, just drop questions. Nah, we will win with iHeart setting them hard screens. Yeah, no, I think for sure, if everyone's healthy and we play how we're supposed to, I think no matter what, we should win. Especially with Isaiah Hartenstein. That's going to open up our offense a little bit more. Our defense as well. It's going to help out Chet there with rim protection. But we have to make sure we stay healthy. That's the thing. Got to make sure we stay healthy there. What else am I missing here? I can't really think of anything else. I might have to sign off. Call it good. Good little almost hour-long stream. It was nice. And this is all these streams are for, if you guys are catching this, all right? Or if you guys are watching it after it's been done, or, you know, you guys watching it right now. These streams are only meant to be like an hour long. Not much, just kind of updating you on my personal thoughts on things that I could talk about for 30 minutes or so that wouldn't, like, I feel like are better on live streams than what they would be on videos. These are what these are for. These are what they are for, just being honest. So, yeah, that's it, really. I just want to say before I log off, just, guys, take care of yourself, okay? That's just a little call to action for you guys. Just take care of yourself. Watch your mental health, all right? You guys make this community special. You guys here that subscribe to the channel, that come here in here are active all the time in the Discord, come in here. You guys, when you guys tweet at me, when I see you guys talking about my videos on Twitter, I'm like, hey, that's me. I live for that. If you guys don't know, I have a Twitter. Follow me there. It's just Bryson Akins. You guys are a special community. The Thunder community can be really special, and you guys here make it very special. So please, none of these content creators, including myself, can do this without you guys. You guys are the reason we do all this. Just take care of yourself. We all love you here. Thunder up. We love you. Thunder community, Thunder family. You guys are family, not a fan base, a family. That's all I got for this. Watch out for some videos being published here. And then watch out for the next stream next Thursday, as we're going to try to do this weekly, baby. Try to do this every week, once a week. Thunderstruck Thursday. You heard it here first. I'll see you guys later.